what's supposed to happen, but I had to do my part. See, a lot of times people say, I won't accept no, but then they be on their couch or they tweeting all day and tweeting saying, please give me a chance. That's not the hustle. The hustle is getting out there doing everything in your power to make sure you're prepared. So when your moment comes, you're ready.
Okay, well, thinking of that, for everybody on the panel, what is it that artists out there are doing that they think works but don't work? Everybody got to answer this. Everybody got to answer for this. You just said it about niggas tweeting,
yeah,
but
let me tell you the most cliche thing that happens to me in the streets. When artists get out there, you brand new, you fresh, nobody never heard of you ever, except probably you and your homie, and you want to sell me music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember, like, when I was on, like, I used to stand on Melrose, drive to Melrose every day with DJ Ski in the same Cadillac. If anybody know DJ Ski, like, that was my roommate in a Cadillac. We drove to Melrose every single day with my pet bull in the back, got out with CDs, and we would just give them to anybody who would take them. People that wouldn't necessarily listen to gangster rap, we would just give the music, you know what I'm saying? And you know, now when I go out, people, yo, gang, man, help me out, man, let me get 10 for this CD. Nigga, your shit might be weak. I don't know if I want to give you 10 for this shit. Number one, like, just hand it off, and it might work. I might listen to it, maybe not this moment, but I might sit it in, you know, the side of my door, and I might put it in one day, and that might be it for you. You know what I'm saying? But you ain't gonna get off trying to sell nobody something that ain't it yet. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably the most annoying new artist thing to me, man. You just gotta get your music out there, I feel like.
Hold on, Rico. I gotta make Tim talk. I gotta make him talk.
No, you really don't.
Okay, well, come on, give us some.
I mean, it's
Timberland
nothing.
game.
To me, I think we just living in a different time, and I feel like history repeats itself. So once we learn to accept that we've been in the game for over 25 years and still relevant. What I remember when I was trying to get up in the game, and when I was listening to Marvin Gaye and all those records, I used to say that was cool, but I want to do it in my way. So I feel like kids today are doing it in their way, but there's no leader. Everybody's following the next person, and when the only person to me this music business is about playing chess. It's a chess game, and you gotta be smart. Like Drake, to me, is the smartest of this generation, because what he gets on the radio is not what his album is. So that's how it used to be. You know, when you did Money Ain't a Thing, then you dropped the album, you got diverse. Now, when a person drop like one record is popping, the whole album sounds like that. So it's like, why should I sign you to an album deal? I should just sign you to a singles deal. You know, and I just think that it's nothing wrong what's going on today. You just gotta accept it and we are leaders, and we have to never give up on the future, as we pioneered the game. Like me and you pioneered the game. So I feel like we have to tell the new generation, no, that's not it. This is it. And then, you know, they're gonna be hard-headed and go that way. But when they come back and fall, they come back and listen to a Rico and us and be like, okay. The problem I have is when people come to me at the last minute. Like, they like, okay, I want you to do my whole album. I'm like, we should have did that at the beginning instead of following what's going on. A lot of people don't want to take chances. That's what I see. Nobody want to take chances. Everybody want to stay in the same box. And I've always been a person who stay out the box. So I'm like, it's like going on a boat. You jumping off the boat. You like, I'm gonna jump off the boat first. And it's like, I ain't getting no sharks in the water. So it's like everybody stay on the boat. But then when I jump off, then everybody else want to jump off. And that's the problem in the music business right now, is that kids just follow the next man and try to beat the next man's record instead of trying to be the best artist. They trying to beat the single that's out.
Also, bro, I don't feel like more than that, with just as much as that, is the leadership role of the guys who've been in the game for a long time on the artist side. They following the kids. You know what I mean? I'm 30. I'm
True.
31 years old. I don't want to be 21. I was already 21. So I'm not trying to be like no 21-year-old. I'm trying to be the flyest 31, so that what 21-year-old can say, I want to be like Holmes when I get older. And I feel like we lost sight of that. When I was a kid and I saw Puff in the Versace joints driving backwards with Big, I had never heard of a Bentley. I wanted to find out what it was. Nowadays, if it's something foreign to them, if it's something that they haven't seen before, they reject it. So a lot of times, it's impossible for them to respect somebody as an OG. See, I bow down, so to speak, when I see guys like JD, and JD will tell you this, and Tim will tell you this. Wherever I see these guys, I stop what I'm doing. I take my shades off, I take my hat off, I shake their hands, because I have that much respect for the culture. How in the world can a kid respect these guys when they don't even respect the culture? When I was a kid, I knew Temptations records. I wasn't even born when these came out. I knew the Isleys whole album. These kids can't even tell me who Gerald Levert is. And it's because they don't respect the process. I respected the process so much. NBA players, baseball players, football players, they can tell you about Oscar Robertson, they can tell you about Kareem, but a kid who says he want to be in the music industry can't even tell me who the fuck Barry Gordy is.
But
I don't understand how you can respect a culture and not do the history on it. When you do the history, you'll know that it don't come overnight.
But you know what? The craziest thing is computers. For real, it's computers. People don't even know how to make a beat. Everybody has a computer, a laptop.
It's the upbringing too. I respect
that's a different panel.
I respect the computers. I respect anything that can.
You gotta let Rico X. Let Rico X do his shit.
I really respect anything that could push us forward. It's the teaching before that. See, what happens is, if your parents taught you what the right way to go, then you could have went to an NWA concert and not killed nobody afterwards. Because your parents taught you that's entertainment, and just respect the musical part of it. Same thing with the computers. If you know what the substance behind it is, then the computer can only advance you. Now, if you're lazy already, you're a lazy individual. You use the same technology these guys use. You just knew how to take what you know and use that new technology to make yourself further. So what happens is, you got to respect the game and respect the business, and before the business and the game, respect the music in general. When you respect it, you approach it in a whole different way.
Yeah, I think that, you know, going on what you're saying as far as computers and whatnot, I have conversations, you know, with my crew and, you know, some of my friends about what social media has stolen from music. Like, we think that it's really opening a lot of doors, but it's really closing a lot of doors, because, you know, back then, like, you know, when I was first coming up, like right before I dropped my first album, I think there might have been like 6 websites. It might have been like Google, fucking AOL, and I don't know, the other ones. Like Hotmail, Gmail, and that's probably it. It was no like hip hop websites, none of that. So I actually had to like go to Rite Aid, buy a stack of CDs, burn them shits, get in my car, go get gas, drive my ass all the way down to Melrose, and really make contact with people with my music. These days, you get on your Instagram, you got 10 followers, right? They follow you, you follow them, you follow 300 motherfuckers, 10 people follow you, you put your music video out on that motherfucker, 10 people see it, you get 6 comments, you feel like you the shit. No, that's not it. That's not it, man. So, you know, at the same time, as much as it keeps us, you know, relevant, and it keeps us communicating, and it makes it easy for me to tell my fans that I'm going on tour here and there, you know what I'm saying? My fans are also worried about their fans. You feel? So, who the fuck is the fans now? Yeah. Ain't no fans. You a fan of you? I mean, you follow me, but you know, you like my Gucci belt, but then you get back to your fucking Gucci belt and your 6 followers. So I get lost on this shit these days, man.
I think it's the same pattern never changes.
Yeah.
You still got to do the same groundwork, and people don't do groundwork. You still got to go out here and touch people. Like, people see numbers but don't touch nobody. You don't even know who your fan is. You don't even know who like your record. Somebody say, I got 2 million followers. Okay. What's that mean? Have you met one of them?
It's what you're into. You're either into the return of the whole shit, whether you like your ego stroked if you get a couple likes or comments or whatever online, and if you feel like you're the man and you feel like you're doing shit, or you're into the whole process. That's what we're saying, is like, if you're in love with this shit for the right reasons, then it's the process. It's, you know what I mean? It's putting the work in and being in love with being in the studio, trying to work smart and make great shit. Or are you in love with, you know what I mean, the compliments and the, you know, playing shows and all the other sides of this shit? It's where your values are and who you are and your identity in this shit, you know?
It's getting back to the music. I was gonna say I'm the only lady on this panel, so I would answer, yeah. I would answer this question a little bit differently.
Thick too.
Oh, thank
I'm
you.
waiting to hear this.
Thank you. No, I would say I think a lot of people are caught up in the visual these days. It's like just the visual, and I see so many new artists come out and it's such a visual. They have a video for every song, but it's like the music is not even developed. There's no craft.
Right.
And they could be, you know, overnight stars. Like, you didn't develop. Where is your craft? You didn't fail enough times, or like, I see that.
I always tell people I wanted to be the greatest more than I wanted to be the richest, because I always knew that money would come if I was great. So I feel like when people get to that mindset, they can do a lot. They can do a lot better with themselves in anything, not just music.
Yeah, man, it's just like Rico said. I mean, you gotta respect the process. I mean, if you ask, you know, anybody up here from JD to Tim, Rico, even Jeezy being a new artist, man, who I got a lot of love and respect for. I mean, it's respecting the process, man. I sat on Aftermath and I watched albums come out for almost 4 years. I signed to Dr. Dre when I was 21 years old. My first album didn't come out till like 3.5 years after that. I went to the studio every motherfucking day and I sat around and I would just wait. Sometimes Dre would get up and look my way and I would think he about to say like, it's your time to get in the booth, and I would have to sit down because the nigga would go past me and get some pistachios. And I would just be like, oh, I guess, all right, maybe
Hey, but
tomorrow.
I mean, the first time I heard West Side Story on the radio, I'm telling you, my whole world stopped, and I was like, who the hell is this?
Yeah.
I got off the bus on the way home as soon as that documentary dropped, and it worked. You know what I mean? Like, you put the work in the process, and it was genuine, it was for real, and you're still here.
Yeah.
Like, I'm thinking back, like, I was like a freshman in high school when I was doing, you know what I mean, when I caught that shit. And it's like, the real ones are still here, you know what I mean? If you're like, you know, in it for the right reasons, you know what I'm saying?
And you know, I was gonna tell a quick story about West Side Story. So Jimmy Iovine came
That's
to the
still my
studio
favorite
one
record,
day.
man.
Jimmy Iovine came to the studio one day, and you know, he gave me this beat and from Scott Storch, and he said he wanted me to do a song for Bad Boy soundtrack. So I did the song for the Bad Boy soundtrack. Dre walked in like 2 hours later and was like, we ain't fucking with the Bad Boy soundtrack. This is like, you know, his first single. And he took that and, you know, we put it on the album. Then right after that, like 10 minutes later, I was going through beats on Dre hard drive, and I found the beat to How We Do. Dre walked in and he was like, what are you doing? This beat is old as fuck. And then 50 walked in after that. It was like, this shit hard. Then Dre changed his mind, said it's hard. And then we did the song and shit, right? And so I wrote a verse to the shit and I just came on to it. I'm like, fresh like, now at that time, man, I was 23 years old. I wasn't shit I had was fresh. I was in an old ass Monte Carlo. I had like a swap meet chain with game on. Like, I wasn't fresh as fuck, but the beat made me feel like I was fresh. So I put that on there, and Dre didn't like it, right? So he made me change it, right? So I changed it. Then 50 came in, I told him, like, I'm gonna play you what I did before Dre came in here and fuck with it. So I played 50 fresh like, and I was like, fresh like, I was feeling it, right? And then 50 was like, yeah, 50, and 50 put his shit on there. Dre came back in, now he like 50, So I'm like, you know, it's just a long battle, man. Shit is crazy. And while I'm up here talking, Dre hated to love it. He said it's not gangster rap, that ain't. And I was in that motherfucker grooving. And it wasn't my type of music, but it's the type of music that I had to make to, you know, get my music out to the world, man. So again, you gotta respect the process. It was long for me. It's probably, you know, long for you, grinding. I remember Crisscross, all I wanted to do, they said I looked like the other Chris that, you know, passed away. And so, you know, I wore my pants backwards. I got into the culture. You know what I'm saying? Especially like Gerald Levert. I know all the Leverts. I know the Pops Levert. I respect Timbaland when he first put out Missy and when he first came with Aaliyah Records, man, and him and like niggas know Timbaland, don't even know Magoo. You know what I'm saying? Or don't even know that he called himself Maganoo. But just, you gotta respect the culture, man, and that's how you get here. That's how you stay here. That's how you stay relevant. Longevity is something that Ice Cube told me, something that Jay-Z told me when I met him at 4040 Club before my first album came out, was that every album you gotta reinvent yourself or you will just become the past. You know what I'm saying? And so if you look at Hov's career, I mean, every album, man, he changed it up and do something a little different without taking too much away from who he is. And I mean, for me and you know, Rico, both being, you know, in our early 30s, man, and seeing guys like y'all come up, just like, this is beautiful. Every time I see Timbaland, man, like somebody that I looked up to that has now become a friend, like those moments, like you feel that shit inside your heart. You know that you worked hard and that you got here. You know, most of the artists that I've met these days that are new, you feel like you already Timbaland. You not Timbaland. You know what I'm saying? You not JD. Just cause you scream, just cause you got $5,000, you run around talking about money ain't a thing and you cut the top off your Ultimate, nigga, you not JD. Like, be yourself, man. Respect the culture.